Hey everyone, Susie here, and it's finally time for another episode of Yankee and Transylvania. This is episode 3, so if you missed out on the first couple episodes, make sure you take a pause here and go watch those first, or else things might not make that much sense if this is the first time you're watching. So, I last left you off with Christmas time and ending my first trip in Romania. So what happened after that? Well, I went back to the US first. I had a lot of packing to do. Like I mentioned in the last video, I literally packed up my whole life as much as I could, got rid of as many things as I could, and prepped my photography business to just be literally given away, which in hindsight I regret. I had a lot of credit card debt that I incurred because of that photography business and because of moving to a new house back in New Jersey at the time, and kind of regretting not planning out something better for income's sake to help cover that debt. But it is what it is, and I wanted to keep things simple, so that's what happened. So I had to do as much as I could with the photography studio, and just overall pack and get rid of things. It was really weird. I only brought back a few suitcases, like it is what it is. Luckily, I had my friend Katie join me for the final week of me being in New Jersey and packing up my life. She helped me with a bunch of stuff. We had some fun. We went out for some beers, of course. Went to some local breweries and everything, which I miss so much, I have to say. I really miss the craft brewery scene in America. It is just amazing, the variety of beer you could get and the quality. It's such good beer. So much. So many breweries just all over the place. I kind of miss that. But if anything, it's been better here in Romania because I'm drinking less. Anyway, so on that note, while I was in town, before Katie joined me, I met up with a few people from the Raid community. That was really fun to meet a couple people from Twitch and Raid and all that. It's nice because that's kind of my family and my coworkers, or my not even coworkers, just our community. The people that we meet is through gaming now, mostly. And that was a big part of my life, and it is my life now. So it was really fun to meet a few people and go out for some drinks before I left New Jersey. So I got back to Romania. Luckily, the first bit of flights were a lot easier than, well, the whole set of flights were a lot easier than the first time I came to Romania. That was a hot mess. This time I went through Frankfurt instead of Munich. It was still a lot of walking, but way less stressful for getting to the bus to get onto the next plane. And yeah, overall, I think everything went really smooth if I remember right. So I'm recording this video. What is it? It is October, and we're talking now about February. So it's been a while. But I'm pretty sure everything went smoothly if I remember right. And then got to Romania. So once I got to the house here, it was just a matter of settling in, right? So I had already set up my computer desk a bit, trying to get everything needed for streaming. I had to buy a couple other things because one of my monitors didn't survive the travel very well, so I had to buy a new monitor and set up my computer desk for streaming and gaming and everything a little bit better. We got a lot of random things to help me organize, like this fancy mirror that is also a jewelry box, I guess. Storage mirror is something I had very similar in the US that I really wanted again because it's just so handy for storing things like jewelry and necklaces and everything. I really love it. I'm glad we did that. We got a little mini beer fridge because we're always having beers and drinks with streaming. I like to have on the late nights I stream, I like to have a drink, of course, why not? So it was really nice to have a little beer fridge upstairs so we don't fill the main fridge with all of our drinks, because they're always cooking and the fridge is small here, and if we put all of our drinks in there, well, we did at first, and it was a struggle. It took up so much room, so the beer fridge was a necessary investment. Oh man, I feel like there are so many other random things I've been just working on, using like buying to resettle in because I had to get rid of so much. I still haven't caught up to this day of like a variety enough of shoes and boots for all weather, jackets for all weather, the right sweaters, the right amount of like enough long sleeve shirts to not have to wear the same 3 shirts all the time. There's so many things I really need to still buy and like refresh with my wardrobe, but that's another story. So I came back in February for forever. One of our big things we had to do, well, I guess the family had to do, was kind of prep for spring. March, they started really getting things going and setting up for spring. They do a lot of agriculture here, which I'll be sure to feature in some other episodes. And that was just really nice to see them set up. And even when it's cold weather, even in the winter, they're grilling outside, they're cooking outside. It's really, really nice to have that aspect. And they're such good cooks. So it's so funny. And we bought things like a pressure cooker and an air fryer, and now we barely use them because they're always cooking. But that's a great problem to have. The food is so amazing, and I really appreciate all the cooking that Tati does for us. He's always cooking in general because when he's home, he gets bored. And he's such a good cook. And I really appreciate being able to have some delicious leftovers that make for easy foods. That's the trouble. Our content creator life, our gamer life is very, I don't know, it's busy. Even though we're not going to work and have a busy, busy life and we barely have time to relax, we're so busy all the time. And it's hard to play the games and create the content. And so when it comes to things like eating and cooking, I'd rather just have quick stuff to do. I don't really have time to prep food for an hour and cook a meal. We just don't. We do technically have time, but yeah, we don't want to make that time, and sometimes eating just feels like an inconvenience. So anyway, having lazy food is really nice, right? Having lazy food is really nice. So it's also nice to have the fresh food here that happened throughout the spring, but that happened later, so we're not there yet. But where we are at, I should probably talk about next, is the wedding. So this might confuse you, like, wait, but didn't you just get married in October? Not really. So, of course, because I'm a US citizen and I have to stay in Romania, well, if I want to stay here permanently, I kind of had to get married. So what we did, of course, was as soon as we could, we had some paperwork to sort out. And after things got finally sorted, because New Jersey was really difficult, not even New Jersey was difficult. New Jersey gave us the wrong paperwork for me to have everything I needed for getting married here in Romania. That's a whole giant nightmare, which I don't really need to talk about. TLDR, paperwork is messy. Dealing with international paperwork is even harder. Everything's a hot mess when it comes to dealing with government organizations, isn't it? That's nothing new, right? So eventually I got all the paperwork I needed and we got married on April 9th. So I think I'm gonna roll this video out with some of our wedding footage. I guess before I do that, we'll start rolling. Let's start rolling some footage and I'll talk about some of the ways they do stuff here. So I am an American citizen. We have a 90-day visa to stay here within 6 months. So I was already on my 2 month, I already used 1 whole month. I had to get our marriage done in order to properly be legal here. So I had to get my permis de ședere, my resident permit, and we did that, of course, after the wedding. But yeah, we had our courthouse version of the wedding. I say that as not even the version, because it's a little bit different here in Romania. So in Romania, they require a courthouse wedding first. It's kind of like, in the US, people would just go to the courthouse, get married, and that's it, you're done. Sometimes. Or they wouldn't go into a courthouse, you would just get married by someone who can legally marry you as a minister or whatever. Someone who's ordained or whatever. Or has like the proper licensing to marry people legally. And it doesn't always involve church, usually doesn't involve religion either anymore in the US. But here it's like a 3-part thing, similar to the US, but in the sense of the courthouse thing is required. So we had to go to the courthouse to do the legal side. And then normally people would do the courthouse thing and then actually go right to the church afterward, do the formal ceremony at the church, and then boom, party, big reception, a lot of the traditional things like I'm used to in America, just with a little bit of their culture mixed in. So that was kind of fun. It's interesting, I should say, to see the differences in what's required. But we just, on April 9th, we just had our simple like civil service ceremony. And then afterward, the family met with us for a really, really nice dinner and kind of like a mini reception. So it was like we had our mini wedding in April to legally keep me here in Romania. You know, I want to do things as proper as possible. I don't want to have any issues legally. It's really messy now thinking about dealing with all the stuff regarding like, oh, when I have to put down my address, do I put down my American address that I would use for taxes and banking? Do I put down my real address in Romania? Like, it's a lot of confusion, and that's stuff I've still got to figure out. But I wanted to make sure we got all set with the wedding so we could apply for my residency here. So I have a 1-year resident permit now. But yeah, I guess we're still showing the wedding here. Let's rewind back to this wonderful wedding. This was so nice. I was actually quite emotional as well. I didn't expect, I mean, I kind of expected it, but yeah, I felt super emotional, a little bit nervous. And it was really, really, really great to feel that way. And in a good emotional, you know, like it just felt, everything was so exciting and it felt so right. And the little mini wedding was perfect. As perfect as can be, emotional wise. I'm so glad I felt the right feels that you should feel when you're about to officially commit to someone so seriously, right? And afterward, it was so nice. The food was great. We went to his cousin Adi's restaurant. He served us. They made Carmen made some amazing cakes for us for the desserts. And it was just nice to see everybody and have some of his friends and family there. For the mini version of the wedding. The full version came later, which we'll eventually get to that, of course, as well. But for now, let's just roll you out with some more wedding footage, and I'll end with some photos here. And then we'll continue onward with some of our adventures here in Romania. I have a lot of video footage to go over, so we're gonna have fun showing you all the things I've been doing since living in Romania. But for now, let's roll some more wedding footage, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Mult stimată adunare, vă rog de puțină ascultare. Cuvântul neascultat nici în seamă nu-i luat. Nu o să fac prea multe poezii, că nu vreau mult să vorbesc și pe urmă să vă plictisesc. Ne-am apucat cu această minunată ocazie pentru cei doi fericiți copii ai noștri, Lau și Suzy, ne-a adus Lau, băiatul nostru scump și drag, ne-a adus fetița care am așteptat-o 40 de ani, aproape, și ea este cea care, sper, până acum ne-a bucurat, suntem mândri de ea și sper să ne aducă mult mai multe bucurii față de ce am avut. Eu nu pot decât să vă urez în numele lor bine ați venit, să aveți distracție plăcută. Sigur, ne dorim alături de voi să vină și ceilalți prieteni și toți ai noștri la viitoarea nuntă care va fi, sper, anul acesta, în funcție de ce găsim sală, dar deocamdată haideți să ne bucurăm de acest minunat moment. Și pentru că toate lucrurile bune să încep cu rugăciune, aș ruga, vă rog, să luați în picioare și să asculte fiecare. Tatăl nostru care ești în cer, sfințească-se numele Tău, în împărăția Ta, facă-se voia Ta, precum în cer, așa și pe pământ. Pâinea noastră cea de toate zilele, dă-ne nouă astăzi și ne iartă nouă greșelile noastre, precum și noi iertăm greșiților noștri. Și nu ne duce pe noi în ispită, ci ne mântuiește ce rău. Ca Ta este împărăția și puterea și mărirea în numele Tatălui și a Fiului și a Sfântului Duh. Amin. Binecuvântează, Doamne, această casă și această masă, cum ai binecuvântat nunta din Gana, Galilei, să le faci la toți voia de plin și să aveți distracție plăcută. Poftă bună!
Yes, 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 yes.
O mică surpriză de la viitorul formație sincron. Viitorul nostru cântăresc în trubă. nepoțelul Iulian. Vorba are sunte de muzică, de neam și de tot.
Era teatru dramatic.
Ține microfonul aproape de 210.
20.
Se aude, da? Ok.
Una mattina mi sono alzato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato l'invasore, oh patrigiano, portami via, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 patrigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire. E se io muoio da patriciano, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E se io muoio da patriciano, tu mi devi seppellire, e seppellire lassù in montagna. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E seppellire lassù in montagna, sotto l'ombra di un bel fior. Tutte le genti che passeranno, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Tutte le genti che passeranno mi diranno che bel fiore, e questo è fiore da patrigiano, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E questo è fiore da patrigiano, molto bella libertà. E questo è fiore da patrigiano, molto bella libertà. E questo è fiore da patriciano, molto bella libertà.
You're so good.
Nelu, vrea să mă prezinti. Super, bravo.